Now we wait for the homies. Watch, at like 3 minutes in or something, it's just gonna get this bomb of viewers that comes in, and then they go. So it's so exciting to see who's gonna pull up first. Well, let's just read the Tao Te Ching while we wait. Oh, Mithrunder, Ram Ram, how are you, man? It's so good to hear from you. Maybe I should have pulled out the Bhagavad Gita instead of the Tao Te Ching. That's funny. You know what? In honor of you being here first, in honor of Hinduism, I'm going to go grab the Bhagavad Gita. Hold on. How are you, man? How have you been? How's your week been? Got more homies pulling up in the chat. How is everybody? How are you guys doing? Hope you're having a good evening, or morning, or afternoon, whatever it is for you. Hello. What's up, homies? How are you guys? Hey, what's up, Zane? How you doing, man? Love taking a hot shower with your mama. I'm getting the hot water going, bubble bath with your mama. So refreshing. You ready? Watch this. Hide user on this channel. Boom. Good job by your mom last night. You have defo done DMT. What do you mean, bro? You have defo done DMT. Like, are you asking if I've done DMT? Sober or high? What's good? What do you mean? Like, am I sober or high? 365 guy, the tattoos, it says Ram, which is a Hindu god. It says Ram in Sanskrit, baby. Ram, 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 Ram. Yes, Zach, I have indeed done DMT many, many times. I'd say in the ballpark of 30 times or so, something like that. All of differing intensities and stuff. Dom B, love your voice, and I will subscribe to you. Well, thank you so much. Everybody in the chat, how are you guys tonight? How is everybody doing? What molecule is on your neck? That is good old LSD 25. Rooms smell like armpits and wet dog. It actually smells like white sage Nag Champa incense. And armpits and wet dog. DMT is terrifying and sucks. LOL. Dabbing it is intense. What makes you think it's terrifying and it sucks? I feel you on the terrifying part, but as far as it sucking, what do you mean by that? GTA 5 yoga guy head Not too sure what that one means. Bro, God of Hindu gave you everything. You don't need no LSD and DMT. The God of Hindu gave us LSD and DMT. I forget, I think it was Meher Baba, a Hindu saint, that said, America, the West is very materialistic. And so the West needs a material to get to God. And so God gave them LSD. He went to the ship. It can be intense if you don't break through. That's a very good point, Zane. It's strange how sometimes like the breakthrough, which is like the most intense way DMT can go, is like more manageable than like missing the mark and not breaking through. Because when you don't break through, you're just kind of like messed up, but still here. You know what I mean? So yeah, that makes sense. He went to the shadow realm. Yeah, namaste head. That's awesome. Spaced out, yo, what's up, bro? Furry. It means you are sped as hell. What's the craziest trip you went on with DMT or other psychedelic? It's so funny because the last 3 lives I've talked about the craziest DMT trip I've ever had. So, considering you said or other psychedelic, let me tell you the craziest LSD experience I ever had. I had learned about spirituality and ego death, this whole you forget who you are and you merge with the universe thing about psychedelics, where you take psychedelics and you have ego death. But I had never had it before. So I took LSD and it was a good dose, and I started tripping pretty hard. And once I was tripping to a certain extent, I decided to put it to the test. I decided to say, okay, LSD, ego death. I wonder if I'm going to have ego death on this trip. And so what I did was I said, okay, ego death means you don't know who you are. You forget who you are, right? That was my understanding of it at the time. And so I said, okay, in my head, I said, who am I? And my mind said, I'm Devin, which is my name. And I hear my mind say, I'm Devin. And I, whoever that is, says, no, that's just my name. Who is it that's Devin? And my mind says, I'm a human. I say, that's just my species. Who is it that's a human? And so my mind says, I'm 17 years old on LSD. And I think to myself, I know my age, I know I'm on LSD, but who is it that's 17? Who is it that's on LSD? And so my mind starts kind of running through its contents of who it thinks I am. I'm Devin. I'm a human. I'm 17. I'm on LSD. I'm just tripping. All these things, and I'm like, these are all just ideas. Who is it that is having these ideas? Who is it that these ideas are occurring to? You know? And so at one point my mind realized that it couldn't provide me, whoever this me is, with a thought, with a concept of who it is. And so my mind stopped saying anything. And so now I'm sitting there and I say, who am I? And my mind doesn't say anything. So I say, who am I? And my mind doesn't say anything. And slowly, I came to this, like, daunting realization, I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am. I'm a human is my species, 17 is my age, Devin is just my name. Who am I? What is this point of awareness that is aware of all these thoughts that are telling it who it thinks I am? And I came to this growing realization, now to my horror, that I don't know who I am. And what came with that was this feeling of being completely merged with everything. Now, I don't mean I lost the sensation of like the edges of my body, but what it was that everything I was experiencing was awareness itself. And I recognized in a single instance that what I am is that very awareness of reality. And so I was the room, I was my brother who was there, I was the sounds, I was everything. What I am is existence itself. And what also came with that realization was that I'd been living a lie my entire life. Everything I'd built up in my personality, my ego, was a lie. It was this sort of idea that I was wearing like a jacket. I'm a hippie. I'm a spiritual person. You know? I'm in high school. You know what I'm saying? All my roles. I saw the personality stuff and I realized that I'd sort of been disconnected from who I really am and was hiding in this facade, this persona, which literally means mask. Persona means mask. I was wearing this mask and I was pretending I was all these things, all the while completely losing contact with who I truly am. And I realized that I've been living a lie. I'm a poser. I've been acting like this kind of person or that kind of person. I haven't been being who I actually am. I've been spending all my time trying to be somebody, even though I already am what I am and always have been and always will be. So yeah, that was my most profound LSD experience. And simply put, like in a nutshell, what I realized is that I'm not who I think I am. There's a vast difference between who you are and who you think you are. You know, there's a huge difference between that. Hare Krishna, Tony Stark. Sober equals DMT. DMT, it's like a death experience. Yeah, man. Have you ever smoked DMT? Monk? What do you mean, Colt? To be fair, that's a deep question even for a sober person. Imagine with LSD. Yeah, dude, exactly. It got really, really deep, really fast. You know, people that I've told this experience to, that like I was on acid and decided to ask myself, who am I? They've been like, oh my God, like they talk about how it's like a recipe for disaster. But I was curious about what ego death is. I knew that psychedelics can bring a doubt about this ego death thing. So I was like, you know, my naive ass, I was like, okay, so what is ego death? It means I don't know who I am. Okay, well, who am I? And that just triggered this domino effect of self-inquiry that resulted in me realizing I'm not who I think. My mind can't say who I am. I am beyond the mind, you know? Hey man, can you shout out for me? Shout out Peanut VR, Butter VR. I love you, bro. I hope you're well. Guys, no more drug talk, please. This is a Christian live stream. Yeah. Yeah, let's keep it. Let's make Jesus happy in here. Not everybody's Christian, buddy. Let everybody decide their own journey in life. I think Yucatan is being a little silly, bro. We talking about doing acid while mountain climbing? No. No, I was talking about doing acid and like asking who you are. Like, what's it like being gay? I mean, that's what self-inquiry is all about, bro. You just got to look in and say, what is it like being gay? You know? Do you believe in God? Fuck yeah, I do. With every ounce of my being. Hi, bro. God bless you. I know God appreciate you preaching the good news. Thank you, Gooble, or Google, however you say that. Wait. Yes, exactly, Zane. Don't project. You did too many mushrooms. Derek, I don't think you've done enough mushrooms, my friend. This is interesting. I feel like part of this comes from Jung's theory. Am I right? I haven't studied Jung that much, man. I appreciated a lot of the stuff I have heard about Jung. He offers some beautiful models of mind and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I haven't dove into his teachings and philosophies that much. Preach it. Yeah. No, Derek, sounds like you did. No, he didn't do enough yet. I'd be straight to the court changing my name if I had to be called Derek. How dose it was. Well, if I think you're referring to that acid trip, I took a tab, but I don't know how many micrograms it was. LOL. God bless you, brother. Jesus loves you. Thank you, Nick Kashino. No, I want to, though. You want to what? You want to what? Space out. What do you think about enlightenment? I think that life is a journey of a series of refining experiences. Enlightenment isn't something first of all, I very much so believe in a state of realization, living from a state of self-realization. And I don't think enlightenment is something you gain. I think enlightenment is something you remember. It's a sort of state you return to. Like kind of how like you can be sitting in a room and you're so invested in reading a book that you don't hear the clock ticking. And then all of a sudden you realize the clock is ticking. Now, the clock has been ticking the whole time. It didn't start when you realized it. You didn't gain the sound of the clock ticking. It's always been there. You just suddenly became aware of it. And that's what I feel like enlightenment is. And to talk about what the experience of enlightenment even is, I don't know, man. It's just being awake, being merged with life, being aware, living life from a place of complete unity with just the natural flow, the natural flow of life. Like, we're not doing all this. All this is just happening on its own, of its own accord. The ego is the one that thinks it's the doer, that thinks it gains enlightenment. I'm enlightened. Who's enlightened, Enlightenment is life itself. And to become enlightened means to merge with life. Meth. What kind of God do you believe in? If so, why? I believe that God is everything. You are God. I am God. This room is God. This phone is God. Everything is God. Everything is an expression of God. God is the creator, the source. And not only is God the creator, but God is the creation. So not only were you created by God, but you are God. You created yourself. God is everything. God is everything. I do not think that there's an old man with a big white beard up in the clouds that is judging me for if I'm being a good boy or not. I think God is everything. God is everything. God is the energy behind everything. In Hinduism, there's a distinction between Purusha and Prakriti. Prakriti is form. Prakriti is the stuff, the cells and the form and the order and the seasons and all the materials and atoms. Purusha is the energy behind it. Purusha is the thing that animates the body of those that you love. When somebody you love is there, they are not that body. What you love is not that body. What you love is something that is animating that body. One moment. When you see somebody you love, you don't love it. It's this illusion that you love their body, but what you love is that which is animating their body. Notice how when they die, whatever that means, their body stops moving, they stop talking, and their body decays back into nature. What disappeared? What left? What left them is the spirit, Purusha. And in my understanding, God is that which animates all of this. Not only living organisms, but everything. Everything. When you get down to the finest unit of each atom, of each particle, whether it's water or wood or fire or air or this table or this phone or sound or light, when you get down to the finest incremental unit of those particular things, there is a uniformity. There's something, there's a similarity between all those different things. It's the same thing that's animating and expressing itself in all these different forms. That is God. That is God. I don't believe in a particular God, but I believe God exists. Are you Jesus? If you want me to be. Hippie. Yep. Allahu Akbar, Amir. I hope you're well. Has there been a time when you questioned existence of the Almighty? Were you ever disappointed that you're not being heard? One moment. Yes, I have definitely had flickers in my faith, but with how I've developed, with how my spiritual path has unfolded, I've heard it put that, and like the way that I feel about it is, okay, so when to go back to there being somebody that you love, when somebody's there that you love, it's easy to love them. But then when they die, they're essentially saying, if you really love me, find me now. And what we're tasked with when someone we love dies is redirecting our love. We had so much love for this being, and then this being seemingly leaves. Now we have all this love with nowhere to go. And I've heard it put that grief is love with nowhere to go. So what we're tasked with in that moment is to find that being that we loved, that we lost, elsewhere. And that's why when a pet dies or a loved one dies or whatever it is, you can walk out into the woods and there they are. You smell something and there they are. You hear something, you see something, you think of something, and there they are. This physical form, although it may not seem like it when we engage with each other, this physical form is a limitation, and the formless is more all-encompassing. And times that I've lacked faith, times that I've felt like God isn't real, or God doesn't see me, or I just kind of wondering, what if there isn't a God? First of all, I can't even really wrap my head around this all being a meaningless, chaotic accident. That makes no fucking sense. Like the idea that it was like a fucking... there was nothing, and now it's all here all of a sudden for no reason. Accidentally, and it came from nowhere. That makes just as much sense as there being a God. If you can believe that, you can believe in God, man. But when I've had those challenges, those rips at my faith, like if something really hard happens, or if I've been struggling with something, or whatever it is, I realize that it's a game of hide and seek. If you really love me, find me now. That is what God is saying in every single moment. Whatever God is, or whatever that word God means to you, God is saying, if you really love me, if you really have faith in me, find me. Where am I? Do you think I'm an old man in the sky? Do you think I'm some guy sitting in a cave? Do you think I'm this person that's written about in this book? Where am I? It's your lack of faith, your flickers in faith are God testing you to see if you have what it takes to find him or it or her or whatever you want to call it in wherever you are in any particular moment. That really interesting, but what about four-stage? I mean, the astral connecting to ancient knowledge. I don't know how to pronounce your name. It's written in Russian, but I don't know what you mean. If you could elaborate on that, maybe I could touch on it better. So what happened in 2017 that enlightened you to this height? Why are you bringing up 2017? Are you referring to like how old I said I was in that LSD experience I had? Have you read Terence McKenna? Hell yeah, I have, dude. Terence McKenna, I actually just kind of like quoted him. Terence McKenna was the one that said the Big Bang Theory is the limit credulity for where the universe came from. The Big Bang Theory supposes that nowhere, for no reason, out of nowhere, in a single instance, sprang everything. And if you can believe that, nothing is far out. Nothing is off the table. God, that's way more easy to believe than the idea that nowhere, nothing, everything came out of existence suddenly. Boom. You know? There's a quote that says, "Give us one miracle and we'll explain the rest." Jesus loves you, brother. I love Jesus. I am hoping the live chat will move to more mature center of gravity before the end of the stream. I know, right? I mean, I'm not. There's some really good stuff in here for sure. But yeah, I'm kind of skipping over the silly stuff. Doesn't matter what God you believe in. There are multiple ways to accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. Yeah, exactly. Jesus Christ is a name of the formless spirit that animates and pervades everything. You know, Jesus Christ is like Ram, is like Krishna, is like Ganesh, is like Mohammed, is like, you know, all of it, bro. It's all of it. It's all the same thing. To think that one particular religion is right is where we go astray, you know? You pass the vibe check. Being is only segmented by human consciousness and the conceptualization of self. By segmented, do you mean like being is only manifest, like you're only aware of being by human consciousness and the conceptualization of self? Or segmented, do you mean separated? I think that's more so what you mean. The universe is just God that split himself into countless pieces and is experiencing the universe through itself. Exactly. Like a beautiful way that I've heard it described is that the reason I'm over here seeming like somebody else to you guys, and you're all over here in the chat as all of them to me, the reason there's that separation is so that I can learn about myself through engaging with you guys as other beings. Because I need to believe that there are separate individuals, that there are other people, so that I can experience love, so that I can experience heartbreak and being betrayed, so that I can experience what it's like for somebody to be there for me, so I can experience what it's like to be inspired, motivated, so I can be taught. Though everything we experience in this life that comes about through the presence of other is so that the self can experience these different aspects of reality. You know? Like here's the really far out way that I've always felt it. Every single one of you watching this right now, you in your head feel like I'm watching this live. But me right here, right now, talking to you guys, I'm live on YouTube. I'm looking at your chat. We all feel like I look at you guys as them, you guys. But you look at me as him, this guy on live. But the subjective self, the I, is identical. The only difference, kind of like Van Pico suggested, the only difference is being animated through our minds, which is our upbringing, our beliefs, our personality, the day we had, you know? The self gets refracted through the kaleidoscope of the mind, and that's where it appears like I am separate from you. That's where it appears like me and them. That's what creates separation, is the mind. The self is the same. We're all the same being. We're all the same point of awareness. You're all aware. You're all looking out of your eyes right now, aware of existence. But that awareness is painted by each of our individual minds. I hope that makes sense. Love is not enough. What else do we need, man? What else do we need? Love is the point, bro. Seems like you have a positive message. Keep it real, homie. Thank you so much, Joe. The thing you're talking about, merging with life, is what Werner calls the lack of self-object differentiation. And he says children are like this. They feel in line with the world around them. That's really interesting to me. Oh, first of all, I agree with that. I absolutely agree. But here's what's interesting. How do we know what children are experiencing? Because they're not articulate. They're not aware of this study we're doing. If we say, do you feel like you're separate from the objects around you? What are they going to respond to that, bro? We can't. In the same way we can't know what it's like when somebody dies, we can't really know what it's like to be a baby because the baby can't experience it. Explain it and describe it. And even if they could, it would be being spun through that subjective mind that I was just talking about. I am an atheist. Am I going to the purgatory? Bro, it's what you believe in. If you believe when you die it's all going to be black and nothing, that's probably where you go. If you believe in an afterlife or whatever, it's probably what's going to happen. Who knows? We don't know. This is a big old mystery, bro. Conform to the system or else, basically. I don't know what you're referring to, Zane. Positive didn't mean anything if it ain't true. Positive don't mean anything if it isn't true. What are you referring to there, Ian? The universe is impossible to fully comprehend with words and sentences. The best way I have conceptualized being in my head is a dodecahedron, except most people can only see one side. Yeah, man, exactly. The universe, trying to understand the universe is like a video game character trying to understand that you are playing it. They aren't aware of you. They're being played. They aren't even aware that they're being played. And that's the same thing with us. We aren't trying to understand the universe. It's the function of the universe is meta to our rational minds. That's why we're out here being atheists and Christians and Muslims and Hindus and all this stuff. We don't know. We don't know what this is, yet it is. Here we are. It's just happening, bro. It's just happening. Something is orchestrating this. Even if it's chaos and particles and atomic accidents and all this kind of stuff, physical stuff, it is still happening. It's still mysterious and miraculous in its nature. It's just happening. You know what I'm saying? Jesus is not a hippie. Find me now. Oh. Positive don't mean anything if Jesus is not a hippie. How do you know what Jesus is? And find me now, are you wondering what I meant by that? I'm an atheist. What's for me in the afterlife? I don't know, bro. I don't know what comes in the afterlife. If you're an atheist, there is no afterlife. And like I was saying, I feel like what you believe in is kind of what you're gonna like manifest for yourself, you know? Or you will be absolutely mind blown to see that there is an afterlife and whatever that means. Or you won't even be aware that you're in an afterlife, you know, because nothing's happening, and you won't even be aware that you were right as an atheist, you know? Sorry, sir, I didn't quite get what you meant. Hell, if it is a life here with... Ian, what are you referring to in that message? Brown Roti. Hell, if it is a life here without God. Woo woo, what's up, Runs? He grants you that same in the next life. Your own choice. Just saying that corporate working world hates when people think outside the box. They want people looking down and work focused. Free thought is frowned upon, is what they are saying. Yep. What's far out to me is, why does the corporate world, to use the same terminology as you, Richard Zane, why does the corporate world want us all looking down? If the corporate world is aware of this greater, more expansive state of being, why the hell would they want all these people not aware of it? Think about like your own individual awakening. If you're on any sort of a spiritual path, you know, you this awakening, or just a lighter, more beautiful way of being. Why would you not? Don't you want others to be aware of it? You don't want to gatekeep that. You don't want to not let people in on what's going on. It's the opposite. You feel inspired. You feel passion in wanting to Guys, look at this. Look at this. Have you heard about this? You know? So I don't understand why, if the Illuminati or the elites or the corporate world or whatever you want to call it, I don't understand why, if they're aware of this higher way of being, why they wouldn't want everybody else in on it too. You know? It's kind of like being aware of God and the riches of heaven and the beauty of heaven and not wanting anybody else to know about God for some reason. You know, it literally doesn't make sense to me. You are naturally good at doing lives. Thank you very much, Bezo. I've seen you in a couple of my lives before. How are you doing? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We must start with foundational truth, not feelings and thoughts and emotions. Well, how do you know what truth is other than it being spun through your own thoughts and feelings and emotions? We aren't experiencing this life objectively. Our experience of life is being run through our thoughts and feelings and emotions. The word truth, the word objective or foundational, that's being run through your mind, bro. We don't have the foundational truth is that meta thing that I was talking about. Foundational truth, we are only in tune with foundational truth when we're not thinking, when we're completely unified with life itself. And in that, there isn't a model, there isn't a conceptual model of what foundational truth is or what bogus emotional thoughts and lies are. It's how do you start with foundational truth? Let me ask you that. The fact that us humans need an explanation of why this is all here, as if the universe owes you an explanation. No, I don't think the universe owes us an explanation, but isn't it fascinating that we find ourselves in this position of wondering what this is? It's not really about if we get an answer. It's more so about the fact that we're wondering about it. It's a miracle. Runts. How are you, Unk? I'm good, Emmanuel. How are you doing, bro? You said you had some sort of awakening in 27. Oh. You're talking about my bio on YouTube. Yes. That was, I just kind of like, so I had this breakup. I broke up with this girl and I was like heartbroken. And then I read the book Siddhartha in freshman year of high school. And Siddhartha is like the life of the Buddha, Gautama Buddha, or whatever his name is. And it absolutely blew my mind. It absolutely blew my mind. Thinking that, like, the way the Buddha described, life has suffering and there is a way out of suffering and this is the way out, and the sort of Zen tranquility of Buddhism, I was absolutely enamored by it. And I thought, why are we not all learning about Buddhism? Why is everybody not teaching me about what Buddhism is? How did I miss out on this? And so I started studying Buddhism. And that led me in the directions of studying, Zen and Taoism. I got the Tao Te Ching right here. I always got this on my lives, by the way. Whenever there's a down moment in the chat, I'll just kind of, heaviness is the basis of lightness. Stillness is the standard of activity, just kind of drop a little one-liner in there. But yeah, I started getting into Buddhism, Taoism, Zen, and this kind of stuff. And then sort of coincided with that, I was a hippie. I was smoking weed. I was a stoner, growing out my hair, And I kind of stumbled into this friend group that had worked with psychedelics before. And they also, moreover, they listened to a particular type of music, rap music. And I found out about Chance the Rapper and his album Acid Rap. And as I listened to Acid Rap, I realized that he was rapping about his experiences with LSD and the mind-expanding qualities of acid and the creativity and the artistic nature of it and all this miraculous stuff, And so I eventually I tried acid. And when I tried LSD, that was like the beginning of the end. Because in trying LSD, that led me to studying the 60s counterculture, the hippies back then. And in studying the hippies, I came upon Ram Dass and Timothy Leary, back the Harvard professors that were giving, they were experimenting with psilocybin, and Ram Dass led me to Hinduism, and that's when it was game on. Psychedelics and Hinduism blew my mind to pieces, and yeah, that was it. That was the awakening. Was, you know, heartbreak led to Buddhism, led to kind of being this hippie spiritual guy, crystals, incense, which led to eventually getting involved with psychedelics, which led to a deeper immersion in Eastern mysticism, which led me to this moment right now, hanging out with you guys, wearing beads and acid on a necklace and Ram tattooed on my fingers and shit, you know? And it's incredible. Love from Ireland, brother. Just popping in to show love, man. Keep growing, my man. I love you, Sean. Thank you so much. This is so true. In the realm of my expertise, I could give the example of DSM. Society desperately desires to label anyone, even remotely outside the norm, and try to fix them. Yeah, exactly, bro. Margaret Sanan, hi. How are you? I hope you're well. What Christian denomination do you fall under, sir? By what do you mean by that? I'm not a Christian, if that's what you're wondering. FD, I disagree. With what exactly? Margaret, hi again. I really related to the idea that if you can believe in the Big Bang Theory, you can believe anything. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, bro. The concept of theos. God made humans in his image for humans to be God with a small g. I get down with that, bro. I feel that. Belief, in my opinion, is just the human mind attempting to make sense of the reality that came with no explanation, no instructions, and we are limited in our beliefs by the ideas that we are exposed. Yeah, I feel you, bro. I feel you. Belief is a sort of finite prison. I don't know which one of you asked if I knew Terence McKenna or not, but to quote Terence McKenna, the truth does not require your participation to exist. Bullshit does. And by participation, he means belief. The truth holds itself up in entirety in all moments. It is the truth, you know? But something that only exists when you believe in it is a whole other kind of thing. It's a conditional, it's a belief, you know what I'm saying? But that doesn't excuse the power of belief, not necessarily in an ontological way, you know, of what, like trying to understand what the universe is, but more so belief about like yourself and what life is and how you want to lead your life and what you think you're capable of. That's where that's where the power of belief lies, is in the scale of your own being, you know. But as far as understanding the nature of reality, it's not a matter of belief at that point. Just like the idea of the Big Bang Theory, too linear of an explanation to the origins of everything, extends to the very procession of explaining anything. I gotta read that again. Just like the idea of the Big Bang Theory being too linear of an explanation to the origins of everything, extends to the very procession of explaining anything through language itself. I might just not be reading that right, but I can't get the thread of what you're talking about there, Vampico. But it feels right. And these ideas are given to us by the society around us, which in its current state is highly dysfunctional and seemingly blind to certain truths. Yeah, I resonate with that, bro. Absolutely. As Timothy Leary said, think for yourself and question authority. Han Solo Burger. Han Solo Toker, how are you, man? It's good to see you. I hope you've had a good week, man. I don't know if you tuned into the last live, but it's good to hear from you again, man. What can you say about DMT land, like a concept of afterlife? What can I say about DMT land? Whatever you are when you're on DMT knows that place. Your soul, your being, your spirit knows DMT. Even if it's your first time doing DMT, something in you knows that space. You've been there. It's intuitive. You know that space, you know? Yo mama ass atomic. Oh, snap. Thread coming in hot. In what way are you a shaman? Well, Ross, I'm glad you brought that up. I am not a shaman. It's just my YouTube username. But where that name came from was years ago when I was like a teenager, 16, 17 years old. I was doing a lot of psychedelics, and moreover, I'd be like walking around in the woods and I'm like looking for herbs and plants and mushrooms. And I was also into like buying herbs and I would smoke them in combination with each other and try to like discover novel states of consciousness and all this weird stuff. I was really weird and experimental with herbs and plants and that kind of stuff for a certain period of my life, and in that period of my life was when I made this YouTube channel. And you got to have a username, and that explains the shaman part of it. And then the Northwood is that I'm from the Northeast in the United States. So, Northwood shaman, it kind of just, it just rolls off the tongue good, and I've just kind of kept the name since. Shout out to that wall border. Homie, you are not the first person to point that out. This room I'm in right now, I live with my grandfather, and this room used to be my aunt's room when she was a kid. So that that explains the teddy bears and hearts on the wall. Your mom's took a dump on your carpet. That's weird, bro. You can't even see the carpet. The double slit experiment all but confirms we live in a simulation based on how particles change from being wave based to particle based just when they are observed by the human eye versus when not. Well, okay, so here's what I'm curious about, Zane. How did we observe them without observing them? I know what you're talking about. I know the double slit thing that you're talking about. And also, by simulation, what are you insinuating by saying that we live in a simulation? Science can't explain that at all besides simulation right now. Your mom's got a passion to eat dookie. I'm gonna quote everything you say, Thread. That's the weirdest question. Why, if they know, why don't they want us to know? Exactly, Bizu. Exactly. Like, it literally doesn't make sense. When I learn about something profound that helps me, I want the other homies to know about it. I'm not going to gatekeep that shit. I don't want you to stay in the matrix, Do you believe in God, Caden? Yes, I do. Most definitely, with every single ounce of my being. Like, do they get to keep us stuck in some type of way by blinding us, and why? Exactly. They shut psychedelics down really quick. Look at the 60s, man. Psychedelics are profound in that regard. Like, look at what happened. People let go. People said, why the hell am I spending my life working? What the hell do you mean bills? What is all this? What are we doing? Why are you wearing these stiff jackets with ties and I am a sophisticated, What is all that? What does that mean? Psychedelics completely eroded the sense of culture that we lived in that time. And that scared the daylights out of the government that had created that culture, Heaven seems very materialistic to me. Honestly, if you're talking about the heaven that I'm thinking of, the Christian heaven, I agree. I don't really want to be in this, like, kingdom with amazing pleasures and everybody I knew here on earth, I don't know. Maybe it'll be cool for a little bit. Can I have a Lambo in heaven? David Wilson, you can have whatever you want, bro. Do you believe in God's existence, Bully? Absolutely. Absolutely, bro. I do believe in God's existence. What do you think of screwing over mega companies to cash out? Um, if mega companies are screwing over other people to cash out, and I can find my way to swindle the mega companies into helping me cash out, I don't see any problem with that. But as far as like screwing them over, I'm not trying to like do somebody dirty, you know what I mean? Jesus said he is the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but by him. I can feel that. I get down with that. But Jesus is a little bit more vast than I think what's in the Bible, in my opinion. For example, we are made of electrons. What is an electron? Why is an electron? I like your mind, Vampico. I like the stuff you're adding in the chat, bro. It's good shit. It's good shit. I could definitely have a chat with you, bro. Bro got rejected and got into monk mode. Exactly, bro. Yeah. Heartbreak will do that to you. Hard times will wake your ass up. Acid is hell of a drug. Thread, oh my god, you're actually making coherent statements now, bro. Yeah, acid is a hell of a drug for sure. Fun fact about the peace sign. The downwards V in the sign stands for nuclear, and the line through it stands for disarmament. Really? I didn't know that. Northwood's shaman is a sexy beast and deserves to be worshipped like the Greek god that he is. I have no comment for that, Jim. Canelo versus Crawford. Who are you going for? I don't know who those people are. FNAF, FNAF, FNAF. Add to favorites. My little brother loves Five Nights at Freddy's, homie. Would you try 5-MeO DMT? I think if I was like down in South America where it's used traditionally and I was with people like actual shamans that I felt were in tune to Gaia, in tune to God, and 5-MeO DMT was being used in a ceremonial fashion, I would do it. Am I going to seek out 5-MeO DMT and do it? Probably not. Zanim, hello, how are you? He then went on to predict the shooting in New Orleans on Baronne Street on New Year's back in October before it happened. Wait, who are you talking about, Zane? He then went on to predict the shooting in New Orleans on Baronne Street on New Year's back in October. Yeah, I don't know exactly what you're talking about. Your favorite Gracie. Say my name. If you do, I'll subscribe. Oh, that's a deal, isn't it? Brandon Biggs, a so-called fortune teller. He was correct twice now. He then went on to predict the shooting in New Orleans on Baronne Street. Zane, are you talking about the guy that drove through the crowd of people? Is that what you're referring to? I'm not really following. Thank you. Yeah, I got you. Joanna, how are you? I hope you're well. Thank you for joining. I hope you've had a good day. What do I think about Osho? Well, Osho is a very controversial person just because of the life that he led. I don't know much about him, to be completely honest. But I think he's tuned in. I think he was tuned in for sure. I don't listen to him really, but what I have listened to of him is pretty cool. Yeah, Osho, he's like he was an interesting individual for sure. Notice how he never blinks. You know, you watch a video of him talking and he just kind of sits there like this and he talks the whole time and he doesn't blink. I can't even do it. You watch it. I'm not even lying, bro. He doesn't blink. You're watching from England. That's so cool. I'm all right. Thank you. Thanks for sharing your live and channel. Well, thank you, Joanna. It's a blessing to be able to share it. And yeah, I go live every Thursday at 7 in the evening. And it's awesome. It's such a fun way to engage with you guys. I've just been sitting here for the past hour, vibing out on everything you guys are talking about. It's a beautiful way to like deepen our connection with each other rather than you just watching like a pre-recorded video of me talking about a topic that you didn't choose. We get to like just hang out and talk about stuff, you know? And there's a bunch of trolls in the comments that just say random stuff, but it adds excitement. I really like your thoughts, but how did you back to real life after ego death and not going crazy? You talking like regular people, but this thinks sounds really truth. I appreciate you, bro, with the broken English, man. I think I got what you're saying. Well, the way that you come back to real life after ego death is what's called integration and grounding and not getting out ahead of yourself, which I very much so did with the ego death. And also, I thought I was going crazy for a good 3 years. I felt like I was uncontrollably losing my mind. And that was probably paired with the Eastern mysticism and the intense use of psychedelics, and also asking myself questions like, who am I while I'm tripping on LSD, and all this insane stuff that a lot of us think is too deep, and whoa, that's too deep, man, that's far out. I was doing all that shit, and yeah, I thought I was literally losing my mind for a good amount of time, and it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. I felt very unsteady, unstable. I didn't know what life was. I fortunately I never got a messiah complex. I never thought I am God and you must obey me. I never thought that. I realized that everything is God, including me and you and everything. But yeah, I definitely had a long period of time where I was very ungrounded and very unsteady and didn't know what the hell was what really, you know? And it took grounding myself and subsequently putting a hold off on my use of psychedelics, and relaxing a little bit, you know, coming back into my body, sort of integrating what it was that I had experienced, you know, because within a year, I look back on my life and I don't even recognize who I was at the beginning of that year because my mind has so intensely shifted, you know, and it was startling, bro. But yeah, to answer your question, it was grounding and integration and intuition, becoming more patient, slowing down, no need to rush. Spirituality is no joke. I have liked and subscribed. Thank you so much, Joanna. That means the world to me. Canelo versus Crawford. Who you going for? Sergio. I don't know who those people are. Politicians or something? What religion do you follow? I follow the religion of life, bro. I don't follow any particular religion. I appreciate different religions, and I resonate with the studies and philosophies and practices of many different religions, particularly Eastern religions like Zen, Taoism, Buddhism, Hinduism, that kind of stuff. But I don't call myself a Buddhist or a Taoist or a Hindu or any of that stuff. Life, bro. Life is my religion. Kind of like Bob Marley said, love. Love is my religion. They say everything happens for a reason. Each experience brings you closer to your true self in life. Everything is a lesson. I wholeheartedly believe in that, Joanna. And it's something I feel like a lot of us could take a lesson from that. Very much so. Take a lesson in what you just said, that everything happens for a reason. And your life isn't just this series of accidents. Your life isn't this big oopsie daisy. You know, it's a journey. It's an unfolding. We're learning. This live right now, you guys, every single one of you in the chat, everything that's happening is teaching. It's a transformation, helping you to mold yourself into who you're meant to be, who you're capable of being, tuning you back into nature, tuning you back into love, tuning you back into your creative, innate expression, you know? And the pain and the hard times and all of that is, as Ram Dass puts it, grist for the mill of awakening. It's all to wake up. It's all to wake up. I'm new here. So do you recommend psychedelics? I'm not going to recommend that you take drugs. I'm not, you know what I mean? But I can say psychedelics have undoubtedly transformed my life in a remarkable way. But with that being said, psychedelics have also been very intense every single time, very intense, and can be a lot to take in, a lot to handle, a lot to work with. And I feel, in my opinion, I feel like you need to have a particular mindset to be able to make benefit of psychedelic experiences. It, you know? Are you confused? Just like religion means you are on the right path, bro. What do you mean? I think such experiences can find you yourself and answer on questions. Who am I? Care then what sense of life? And after all, we back to real life with rules and norms. I think it can be hard. Very much so. It very much so can be hard, especially when the rules and normal life that we've been leading is devoid of philosophy, when it's devoid of looking into the nature of ourselves and what life is and why we're here and what all this means and what we're here to do, what our purpose is. When your life, it doesn't have any of that, and then you have a spiritual experience where you consider such things and you contemplate and look at those kinds of things, it can be very shaky coming back down into your normal life with your normal hobbies and your normal friends and your normal job and your normal family and your normal personality. So yeah, it's really easy to lose your ground, you know? We are all here in this exact moment in time. Nothing is accidental. Absolutely. Absolutely. What is your trauma that you became spiritual at this age? That's an interesting question, bro. I like that you appreciate the fact that trauma can be a catalyst for awakening. But for me, it just it sort of kind of naturally blossomed at a young age, at 15, 16 years old. It just kind of, cannabis and Buddhism and psychedelics and shamanism and all this stuff, Eastern philosophy and meditation and yoga and all this stuff just came out of nowhere. And it captivated my attention in a much stronger way than the reality that was being taught to me in school and by my friends and family and parents and all that kind of stuff. The world of spirituality made more sense to me and resonated with a deeper part of me than everything else I was experiencing. Sorry for bad English. I just learned, but you interested me. You really cool. I sub you. By the way, I asked about fourth stage of ego death. Saw the video where man talking about this. It's like a place where you can connect to worldwide mind and take access to knowledge of everything. I love the broken English, bro. It's great. It's funny reading it and decoding what you're talking about. It's honestly not that bad, but yeah, I feel you. Yeah, it seems kind of like he's talking about what you just mentioned, the fourth stage of ego death. It seems like he's talking about the Akashic records, or like the collective unconscious, I don't know about any formal 4 stages of ego death, if that's what you're wondering. I don't necessarily know the video you're talking about this. Maybe, actually. Ever heard of this Indian guru Sadhguru? You should visit India soon. Vishwajit, I would love to visit India. Where do you recommend going? I have a dream, a vision of visiting India, and I want to go to Uttarakhand. Pardon my pronunciation of that state, but I want to travel to Uttarakhand and go to Nainital and visit the Kenshi Dham ashram, the Neem Karoli Baba Hanuman ashram. As an example, it's just gone 1 a.m. here, so in essence, I'm in the future. You are in the past, but yet here we are, just floating in time, yet connecting. Joanna, what a beautiful mind you have. I love that so much. That's so beautiful. As I read that, it was like such a place of like tranquility and stillness, like the quiet of the middle of the night. You know, it was so peaceful sounding, so serene sounding. Hey, Francis, what's up, man? How are you? Ego can also be your ally. It's also tied to your self-worth, and you know when you are being mistreated. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've been experiencing that recently. The awareness of when something no longer serves you and when to let go. That is a huge transformation that I've been undergoing recently. Very much so. Thanks for your answers. Really like you, vibe and thoughts. Have a good day. Peace. Thank you, man. Thank you. If I could pronounce your name, I would. But I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the engagement. It's been fun. You getting married? How long have you known her? I'm not getting married, and I don't know who you're referring to. Are you talking about Joanna or some shit? Anybody else in the chat that hasn't been talking? Say hi. Tell me what's up. Tell me how you're doing. Is she your wife? No. Hey, Brittany. What's up? How are you? Thank you for saying hello. I hope you're well. Brittany Moodley. Is she your wife? Yeah, Francis. I don't know who you're talking about, bro. I'm well, thank you. And yourself? I am wonderful. I love doing these lives. It's really fun. It's really fun. You literally never know where it's gonna go. You never know who's gonna come into the chat, what people are gonna say. You know, I never know what the hell I'm even gonna say. You know, it's all just off the dome. You know, and it's beautiful. It's such a fun way to engage with the community. Did you serve, bud? Which base you serve? I don't know what you're talking about, Francois. Yeah, it's an adventure. It really is. It really is. Like Francis right now, I don't know what he's talking about exactly. I'm at 5 CDTC. What you talking about? Who are you? I don't know what to say to that, Francis. I think now is a good time for a line from the Tao Te Ching. It's easier to carry an empty cup than one that is filled to the brim. The sharper the knife, the easier it is to dull. The more wealth you possess, the harder it is to protect. Pride brings its own trouble. When you have accomplished your goal, simply walk away. This is the pathway to heaven. That's the Tao Te Ching for you right there. Beautiful, beautiful, remarkable book. Were you in the military? Nope. I was not in the military, bro. Were you in the military? Who's hitting all them hearts? Thanks for the hearts, bro. I see that's why you couldn't understand me. Yeah. Yep. Well, I wish you the best. Thanks, homie. I'm sorry I wasn't in the military. Han Solo, are you still here, bro? Did you dip out? Who is here in the chat? Who's lurking? Who's lurking in the feed right now? Hey, you're still here. I'm gonna call you X, the one that just commented right there. What kind of music do you enjoy listening to nowadays? Has psychedelics had an impact on your taste in music? I listen to a bunch of stuff, man. I listen to I like EDM music, melodic EDM, rock, alternative, indie. I listen to a bunch of stuff. I don't really have a particular type that I always listen to, And yeah, psychedelics have definitely had an impact on my taste in music. Psychedelics, the music that psychedelics have really tuned me into is, melodic EDM, psytrance, like Spangle. Yeah, that kind of stuff. The sort of melodic, if you ever heard of chill step, that kind of stuff is really deep. Do you smoke or do any psychedelics at all now? I do not smoke weed. And I don't take psychedelics a lot either. I'm not like strictly, I will not smoke weed or I will not take psychedelics, but I don't actively use those things. They're not like in my diet, you know what I mean? I'm basically completely sober. I don't use nicotine. I don't use cannabis. I don't take psychedelics very often. Occasionally I'll rip a nitrous balloon, Very occasionally I will have a drink, But yeah, the cannabis and psychedelics are very intense things for me now, and I don't exactly know why. I mean, psychedelics have always been intense, but weed, I was a stoner for like 9 years, bro, and then back in March of 2021, I took a 3-day break, and when I came back to it, it was like mind-meltingly intense. It was way different, way different. And I remember the day after that, I was like, okay, I'm going to smoke weed again. And if I get as high as I did last night, I can't do this every day. And I smoked again, and I got that high again. And I was like, I can't do this. You know what I'm saying? It's so deep and trippy and like intense, and I just, I can't do that every day. You know what I mean? I've followed your channel for a long time under a different YouTube account. You used to vape nicotine. What was your journey quitting? Well, first of all, bro, thank you for having been following for such a long time. That's awesome. And yeah, I used to vape. It's funny, in my older videos, you'd see me ripping a vape. Well, long story short, in February of last year, it's actually been a little over a year now. In February of last year, my lung collapsed. Like, I had a fucking collapsed lung. And it was a spontaneous lung collapse, meaning there isn't an acute cause. But I associated it with vaping. And I was like, all right, I'm done vaping. I'm not going to vape anymore. Because that was a good enough incentive for me to stop vaping. And I haven't smoked nicotine or any tobacco products in over a year now, and I'm completely free. I don't want to use nicotine or smoke nicotine or any of that, But yeah, that was how I quit. My lung collapsed, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll finally quit now, Chill Step is amazing. There was a song I heard years ago, but I can't recall its name at the moment. Joanna, have you ever heard of Black Mill? It's an incredible chill step music artist. I used to have pretty intense weed highs, but after doing shrooms and seeing those peaks, weed became normal afterwards. Zane, what kind of doses did you take, bro? What kind of doses of mushrooms? Where, like, those peaks, I feel you. But what doses are you talking about? It's the friggin' weekend for me, bro. Thursdays are my weekend. And I'm ready for the weekend. I'm definitely ready for the weekend. Anybody else hanging out in the chat? You guys got any more questions about anything? Interested in anything in particular? I'll probably hang out on here for a little bit longer. It's fun. It's kind of hard to go away sometimes. The cannabis experience deepened for me after my experiences with psychedelics. Yeah. See, when I first ever took LSD, I remember the next morning, because I'd heard that when you take psychedelics, weed is different afterwards. And so when I took acid for the first time, the next morning I was like, I was gonna smoke weed, and I was like, I wonder if it's gonna be different. And I smoked, and it wasn't different. But then, back in 2021, like I was describing, that's when suddenly it was insanely different. And I've wondered to myself if there was like a delayed reaction or something. You know what I mean? Like, for some reason, it took a second for that mental difference to take place. Because, yeah, now it's insane, bro. If I were to take a rip right now, a bong rip, or a rip off a joint, or a rip off a bowl, I would get so high, dude. Like, I wouldn't be able to be on this live right now. I'd need to, like, lay down or fucking, like, I'd trance out. It's crazy. It's crazy. I had my first weed brownie cake at New Year. It was good, but made me incredibly sick. That's awesome. That's awesome. The high was good. Hom aside. What are you talking about, homie? Are you talking about the bears up there? You talking about... I don't know. Yeah, tell me what you're talking about. I think some of my messages are being censored, but it was 3.5 of PE, McKenna strain. Hell yeah, bro. That's a good dose, man, of penis envies. Hell yeah. No, the woman. Wait. Oh, no, that's Buddha, bro. That's Buddha. Is this what you're talking about? Isn't that beautiful? Look at that shit. Isn't that sick? It's like a stone plate with Buddha on it. My Buddha statue broke, so it low key, like, it's like he's popping a wheelie, you know. He sits down and like leans back, and it's funny because the inside is stuffed with Indian newspaper. There's like Indian lettering on it and shit. The high was really good, but I ate too much too quick. I was like, this isn't working. Then it was, oh, okay, yeah. I've been there. I have been there. Have you ever seen entities eyes closed on shrooms? Zane, I have never taken a high enough dose of mushrooms to really even have visuals at all. I've only ever taken like a gram, bro. I have the most experience with LSD and DMT. Igloo Girl, hey, just subscribed. I really enjoyed your subtle art of not trying video. It has really helped my perspective and mindset already. Really enjoying your content on this channel already. Thank you so much. That means the absolute world to me. And people like you are who these videos are for, you know? And it's so beautiful because what I'm sharing with you that is helping you, it's helping me too as I share it. Like what I'm saying is where it helps me to better understand it. It helps me to lead a life from those perspectives that I'm speaking of. You know, it's amazing. It's incredible. Like my channel is like a digital diary. You know, it's amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you. That really means a lot to me. I'm a Christian. I was just wondering. Poopy pants. Watch me do my dance. How much cocaine, I mean paper, can you fit in that Buddha? Couple crumpled up 8 balls, bro. What's your reason for doing drugs? Just asking, not judging. Just want to know. Everyone has their story. Well, my reason for doing drugs was curiosity. you know? And I've only ever done, the drugs I've done are weed, nicotine, alcohol, LSD, DMT, mushrooms, ketamine, MDA, and nitrous oxide. Those are the drugs I've done. What is that, 10? That's it. I've never done coke. I've never done meth. I've never done heroin. I've never done any of the hard, weird shit. Even like DXM and lean and codeine, and I've never done that shit. Xanax, never had any interest in that stuff. And my interest was curiosity and opening my mind, to put it simply. Yes, dude. No way you've seen that video. Didn't you explore Brugmansia a while back? Yes, I did. Yep. I never. Yeah, I guess you consider that. You can consider that something I've taken, but I've never really tripped on it. You know what I'm saying? So, in never ate Brugmansia. Thank God. I was smart enough not to, but I smoked the dried leaves of it, and the very interesting effect that I've noticed with Brugmansia is it made my weed highs, my cannabis highs, way stronger. Like, it made it seem like I didn't have a tolerance. Like, I'd put some Brugmansia on top of my bowl of weed, and when I smoked it, I would just, like, my high would just, like, keep going, you know? But I didn't hallucinate, I didn't trip, nothing felt weird, you know? You cowards don't even smoke crack. Get out of it. Dude, the shaking head. Oh my god, that's so funny. Because I've heard that it's like when you fucking do crack. That's awesome. I've done coke, smoked weed, tried Molly, and it didn't do nothing to me. I don't know. I did that, and I forgot that drug that makes your voice sound different once you hit it. Yeah, nitrous. Yeah, the big balloons of nitrous. I actually did that not too long ago. After doing shrooms, it was like losing a second virginity. It became a lot easier to know who I was. Do you ever feel psychedelics are a cheat code or fast track to finding yourself? I believe psychedelics can show you in a single instance, in a period of 6 hours or 8 hours or 10 minutes, depending on which one you're taking. Psychedelics can show you the possibility of who you are and what you can be. Psychedelics can put you in the room as, okay, so here, Ram Dass's guru, Maharaji, said LSD allows you to come into the room with God, but you have to leave after 3 hours. You can only stay for a little bit, and then you have to go. And he said it's better to become God than to visit him. And psychedelics, I kind of relate in that kind of way, where psychedelics can show you the possibility. Psychedelics can teach you about who you really are. Psychedelics can help push away all the shit of your mind to help you see who you really are, to see through the veil. But it's up to you to do the work and to implement and integrate the things that they teach you, which, in my opinion, can be really complicated shit, because psychedelics are so, or at least can be so foreign and so alien that you don't even know what to do with it. You don't even know how to integrate it and what it is you're even integrating. You know what I mean? But do I think psychedelics are like a cheat code to like jump a bunch of steps to get to a deeper state, you know? You're not cheating anything, you know. If you come across psychedelics, you are meant to have the awakenings that you are. You're not hurrying along the process, you know what I mean? It was meant to happen in that moment. Deliriums can be terrifying. Absolutely. Absolutely. I have a very similar experience with previous drug use, mainly psychedelics and shrooms. However, my reason for starting was because of an extremely bad depressive episode. I didn't want to be here anymore. I meant to say weed, not shrooms. That falls under psychedelics, which I have done and enjoyed shrooms the absolute most out of anything I ever tried. I feel you. I feel you. And being in a dark place, that may not be the best time to seek out substances and medicines like that, but that can be just what we need the most sometimes, is a ceremonial psychedelic experience, something like that, you know, or working with cannabis or whatever it is, something that you're going into it with the intention to heal, not the intention to get fucked up, but the intention to heal and to grow and to transform. I like shrooms, just don't overdo it. Yeah, I feel you, Terrence. I've heard a lot of scary stories of people doing LSD and mushrooms and shit. Yeah, not only is LSD or psychedelics very powerful things, but people can do stupid shit on them when they're under the influence of a good enough dose, you know? And psychedelics are no joke, man. Drugs in general are no joke. Have you any experience with Ska Pastora? This is salvia. No. I've wanted to. I'm not gonna buy the sticky icky salvia at the head shop and blow my noggin out on that stuff, you know. I'm not gonna do that. But if I could get access to the plant, I would harvest and dry my own leaves and prepare them and ingest them orally, you know, sublingually. It's called quitting, I think. I would do it that way. Shrooms for me was very permanent. It now feels like I'm on 1 milligram of benzos afterwards. DMT was a lot crazier, but it doesn't stick chemically compared to shrooms. After doing DMT, I know there is an afterlife. Zane, that really interests me, bro. It kind of makes me think I should start working with psilocybin a little bit more. And yeah, I feel you on the DMT not sticking. I know what you mean, bro. Hi, my name is Themi. That is a beautiful name. How are you, Themi? Greek besties. Weed kind of feels different now in a bad way. You know what I think it is, bro? I think it's starting to kind of kick in the strength of cannabis these days. How strong the strains are. We've bred it. The genetics of cannabis have been bred so intensely to have such high percentages of THC that it's like, it's alien shit now, bro. And like, you take a tolerance break, take a week off, 2 weeks off, and you go back to it, it might be very different, you know? Drugs know you. Drugs know you. You don't know drugs. That's fucking funny. I like that. I feel that. I resonate with that, bro. In a funny way. Been a grower for 15 years. Marijuana is God's medicine. That's amazing. I feel you, bro. I feel you. You can certainly find a live plant. It's in a bit of a legal gray zone depending on your state. It may be easier than you think. Well, yeah, it's legal, but, you know, I don't know if there's any like nurseries or landscaping places that have salvia plants, Salvia divinorum, because it's a type of sage, you know, and they typically don't have that type of salvia, you know. And I've looked online for live cuttings, and they never have them. And I've read that they're very like hard to come by, you know. No, it's not going to be found in a nursery. Well, how do you recommend finding it, bro? The live plant, not the extract shit. Is it time for another line from the Tao Te Ching? Chat's a little quiet. Nurture the darkness of your soul until you become whole. Can you do this and not fail? Can you focus your life breath until you become supple as a newborn child? While you cleanse your inner vision, will you be found without fault? Can you love people and lead them without forcing your will on them? That's a good question for politicians. When heaven gives and takes away, can you be content with the outcome? When you understand all things, can you step back from your own understanding? Giving birth and nourishing, making without possessing, expecting nothing in return. To grow, yet not to control. This is the mysterious virtue. Anytime the chat goes quiet, the Tao Te Ching comes out. That's just the way it goes. That's what I do here on my live streams. What? What do you think about Keaton? What is that, bro? Oh, did you mean kratom? Did you mean kratom? Yeah. What do I think about Keaton? I've never tried kratom. I don't know a lot about it. I know that Adam from Psyched Substance was addicted as all hell to it. But yeah, I've never tried it. I don't really know anything about it. It's a alternative, isn't it? Do you prefer DMT or... Oh wait, I don't know if I completed that sentence about the kratom. It's an alternative to opioids. Like it's similar in that field, isn't it? Do you prefer DMT or Changa enhanced leaf? They're both incredible, and it entirely depends on how I'm feeling in the moment. I've never tried Changa. I've only ever done enhanced leaf and DMT. But they're both amazing, bro. And like, what's funny is I've had more consistent entity contact with enhanced leaf than I have with pure crystal. Stepping back from your own understanding is interesting. Once you know something, you can't really unknow it, at least from my experience. This is my other account. I'm Bizu. That's awesome. I like that you switched over. Yes. Once you know something, you can't really unknow it. Yeah. I feel like what he means in saying stepping back from your own understanding is letting go of the fact that you know it. You don't have to sit there and I know this. You can kind of trust that you understand it. You know, you can step back from your understanding. You know, you don't have to gatekeep it, you know. Red makes me tired. Green, what does that say? Red makes me tired. Green gives me energy. Oh, are you talking about kratom? Homie's not allowed 200 feet from schools. 200 feet is a pretty close distance, homie. That's pretty close. That is a U.S. nursery they sell online. It's not always in stock. There are others too. I looked around, man. I think it was last year. I looked around and I could not find anything. Isn't it funny that we're all just hanging out here? Like, just talking, kicking it. I don't think the link was sent. Yeah, I don't see a link. You can comment on one of my videos if you want. Favorite DMT entity story? Okay. I got a bunch, bro. I'm gonna just go with this one that I just randomly thought of. So, I was doing DMT, and I wasn't even trying to break through. And I was just sitting there taking tiny hits, just kind of vibing with the energy of it. And suddenly, I was in this weird space, like with my eyes closed, and there was like these, it was like these big metal beams up above me, and they were like flipping and moving and warping. Wah, 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 wah. They were doing all these weird motions, very mechanical. And it was like it was like I could see through them. It was weird. And then there was this like little doll. It was like this little girl that was like a doll in front of me, in front of my field of vision. And she, if you've ever heard of Coraline, I wish I could show you a picture, but she had like buttons for eyes and a little tiny little dress on and like shoulder height hair. And she was crying. She was like sobbing and weeping and crying her eyes out. And seeing her scared me. It was ugly. It was weird looking. The necklace is LSD, by the way, bro. If I don't know if you're talking about this or the beads, but yeah, this little girl was crying and it like scared me. I was like, that's fucking like kind of weird looking. So I thought to myself, I was like, well, rather than being scared, let's dance. Let's interact with each other. So I told this entity, I was like, let's dance. And so I started like vibrating, and she started vibrating, and she started vibrating so fast. And suddenly she was crying, and then suddenly she went to really happy and like smiling bright as hell. And then before I could even blink my eyes, she went back to crying, was crying even harder, and then she shriveled up like a raisin and disappeared. And in that moment, I got the undeniable feeling that I just killed that DMT entity. I was like, I just killed that being, that spirit, by making her dance. Whatever I just did, the way that I just engaged with her, killed her. And I felt like I murdered that DMT entity. And then suddenly there was like this, it looked like a glass hallway. Like a hallway made of glass. And I was like panning out from it. And coming from the right of my vision, there were these like school children. These little young boys and girls with like school outfits running down the hallway. And then the trip kind of faded away. But that was one of many very strange entity experiences that I've had. You speak Spanish? No, I don't. Say Annalisa. I'm not saying it. I don't know what the fuck that means. Weird question. On DMT, have you ever heard that song or someone singing and then become the sound itself? Have you ever heard that song or someone singing and then became the sound itself? I'm afraid to say I don't know exactly what you're talking about, bro. You look like you smoke pot. I don't. Hello, I hope your day is as wonderful as your smile. Take care. God bless. What a beautiful message. We all need to take a lesson from Jackalope. That's beautiful. I think he smokes the marijuanas. I don't. I think he said he doesn't anymore, but has hella. Yeah, I smoked a shitload of weed for sure. But I do not anymore. Yeah, I don't really smoke anymore. Ever. What's funny, I work in the cannabis industry, which is pretty funny. There's almost like this embarrassing feeling to it. Like I work with weed, but I don't smoke it. Why'd you quit the weed? I smoked every single day for like 9 years, and then back in 2021 I took a 3-day break, and when I went back to it, it was way different. It was so strong and so like psychedelic and intense and introspective, and I had like a panic attack. And I was like, this is crazy. And I did it again, and it was that intense again. And then I did it again, and it was that intense again. And I was like, I can't do this anymore, bro. This shit's different now. So I stopped smoking weed against my will. I didn't want to stop. But the experiences were suddenly so intense that, like, I couldn't do it every day. I didn't want to do it anymore, you know? Hi, Han Solo. How you doing, homie? I'm glad you're back. I'm all out of water. I'm glad to hear it, man. I hope you've had a good week. I don't know if you were here on the last live, but it's good to hear from you again, man. It's always good to hear from you. I think I'm going to be calling it here shortly. So if there's any final questions or statements that any of you left here in the chat have to share, I would love to hear it. Do I smudge? Like with sage and stuff? Yeah, sometimes. I usually do Palo Santo. I'm starting to think you dabble in the sorceries. What you mean by that, bro? Same thing happened to me, but liked how it changed into a psychedelic thing and kept doing it in smaller, but until it went back to normal. Are you talking about weed? Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe I should try that out, man. What I like is that I know that if I take a hit off a bowl, it's going to be a profound experience. You know, I'm gonna go on a journey of some sort. You know, and I like that it has that quality to it of being strong, and I'm not just abusing it every day. You know. Um, Hi, Globe, Geography, and Space, Noah Man. How are you doing, homie? It's good to see you. Thank you for pulling up. Try smoking non-hydro, just fire. What do you mean, bro? What's your hand tat? It says Ram in Hindi. Ram is a Hindu god, one that I highly admire and see as a figure of the divine. And yeah, it's actually my first tattoo. Man, I wonder what it'd be if you had a dab. Oh my god, I would fucking lose my mind, bro. Yo, you gotta tell me what that necklace means. I added, do you mean this one? This is LSD. That's the LSD molecule. I don't know if you're talking about the beads or what, though. Later on tonight, check your comments. I left a signpost if you're interested in following the path. What do you mean, you talking about the salvia still? Thank you so much. I love them. I think it looks so good. Like I'll catch a glimpse of them sometimes, and I'm like, damn. I feel like a girl kind of checking her nails out. You know what I mean? There are different grade to weed, which aligns with percentage value of THC. Not all weed is created equal. Yeah, I feel you, bro. I feel you. Not all weed is created equal. Yeah, it's crazy how strong weed is these days. Like, it doesn't need to be as strong as it is, bro. I have one hand tat and want more. What's your hand tat? What's it up? And you want more hand tats or tattoos in general? Warning, salvia is just as powerful as DMT, but a lot scarier. You usually turn into a rock and feel like thousands of years passed. I feel you, bro. I've never done it. I've heard a lot of reports like that, though. And I would not smoke it. I would quit it. I would put it in my mouth and, suck the juices of it. Who are you and what are you doing inside my phone? I don't know, bro. You're inside my phone. Talk about fucking Inception. I'm over here in real life, bro. You're the one in my phone. Which one of us is actually in the phone, man? I gotta go. Thank you for all you have done, and I wish you the best. I love you so much, bro. I wish you the best, too. Thank you for hanging out, and I hope to catch you next Thursday on live as well, bro. I like the weak greenery. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I feel you, bro. All of you are in my phone. Exactly, bro. Every single one of us individually are the only ones actually out here in real life, bro. Remember, people's experiences with salvia can range widely, and yours may be very different than what others say. Yep, I feel you, bro. I feel you. I'll check your comment out, by the way, homie, for sure. Who's hiding in the chat, man? Who's hanging out? I'm slowly nearing the end of this live. Hey, I love you, bro. I love you. Yeah, we're slowly winding down. We're slowly winding down. Your boy Northwood Shaman is ready to go get inverted and lay in his bed over there, dude. I gotta admit though, I fucking love these lives. It's such a fun way to hang out with you guys, to engage, and to let you guys talk amongst yourselves as well. It's so cool. It's so cool. Like, a couple weeks ago on my live, we were talking about starting a Discord community, which would be incredible. Like, any of you guys could join that and talk and hang out. And we could just like text, just hang out, you know? I don't know Discord really that well, but it sounds like a wonderful idea, you know? It sounds really fun. But yeah, it's so fun. The first couple lives were kind of weird, man, because it's such a different way of engaging with you guys where it's in the moment. I don't have a script. I don't know what the hell is going on. It definitely takes some getting used to and just kind of hanging out, you know what I mean? And seeing the flow and seeing who comes and seeing how it rolls, you know what I'm saying? But I've come to love it. I literally look forward to every single Thursday now because of these lives. Because I pull up, you guys pull up, and we just hang out, you know? And they stay on my YouTube too, so you can watch them afterwards too. It's really cool. It's really cool. I created a whole playlist, the Thursday Night Lives, you know? It's very fun. Chat, if you stay too quiet, you're gonna get another line from the Tao Te Ching. When the chat gets quiet, the Tao Te Ching comes out. I don't know if you know that, but that's the rule. When a superior... Oh. You ever go gather mushrooms from the woods? Yep. Wait, hold up. Stay right there. Check this shit out, bro. Wild harvested Amanita muscaria. Oh, no, thank you. Jesus is the way. Okay, yeah, you're right. Jesus is the way. Good old Amanita muscaria, baby. I have no intention of ingesting this. Isn't that cool? I found some big old Amanita muscarias and decided to just... I was like, you know what? I'm gonna harvest these motherfuckers. I've harvested chaga. Oh yeah, I got a bunch of mushrooms, bro. Hold up. I got a bunch of mushrooms that I've harvested. I harvested a shitload of chaga. I have like literally way too much chaga. Like I have mason jars full in my closet. And I've made tea a couple times and maybe I should start getting back on that. I honestly though, I'll be honest, I got nervous. I was like, I didn't know if I like trust myself to forage my own mushrooms, you know? It's definitely a field of knowledge that you want to like know what you're doing. You want to be educated on it, you know what I mean? You ever tried chicken in the woods? Fuck yeah, I have, bro. Hell yeah, that shit. Oyster mushrooms are what blew my mind because it literally tastes like seafood. Like, it's crazy. Day 71 out of 100 of telling people they are loved. You should do day 71 out of 1,000,000, bro. That's beautiful. I love that so much, Josie. That's so cool. You are loved too. You are loved too. Nice. But yeah, I've tried chicken in the woods, I think. What's gonna happen? Dun 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 dun. I think we have reached the end of this Thursday evening's live. It's been very fun. I love it so much. It's so fun hanging out. Winter oyster mushrooms are delicious. I don't know if is it like a kind of, does it take on a different flavor? But yeah, anybody else in the chat, if you have any final comments or questions or anything you want to throw, great live again, Dev. Thank you, Zane. I really appreciate you, bro. It's fun seeing you pull up every single week. I love you, man. Thank you for kicking around and hanging out. It's really fun. It's really fun. Bye. See you on your next stream. Thank you, bro. Thank you for pulling out. Even the tiny little amount of time you were here. Thank you, bro. It means a lot. But yeah, any final questions or comments that you guys want to drop in the chat? before I head out for the night. Terrence, I love you, bro. Thank you for hanging out. I love all you guys. It really means a lot. Love you too. See you next week. Yeah, thank you, bro. Thank you. I could use it. I could use it. Han Solo, thank you, man. I love you, bro. Seeing all you guys is so fun. It's awesome. Thursday night, 7 p.m., baby. I love it. I love it. All right, I'm going to let you beautiful people go back to your nights or days or whatever time it is for you. Again, thank you so much. I love you all so much. Stay tuned on the channel. I got a video coming out tomorrow. And yeah, I will see you all next Thursday, 7 p.m., same time. Mythrunder, I love you, bro. Bizu, Pedro, it's always amazing Thursday night. Oh, thank you so much. All right, you guys have a wonderful rest of your night, and I will all catch you next Thursday, same time. I'll see you then.